Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this all levels 10-minute morning yoga class with no props required. This is a great full body stretch, so working a little bit on flexibility, something that you could do every day to improve mobility through your hips and your hamstrings and your shoulders and your spine. So just a well-rounded practice. We're going to begin in a forward fold in butterfly pose. So Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together to touch, knees fall apart, and you can really choose how close you want to have your heels in towards your hips. So the closer I move my seat towards my heels, the more I'm going to feel this through my inner thighs and inner groin. If I move my hips back, I get the stretch a little bit more on the outer hip, and it's easier to fold forward. So it really just depends what you want to work on here and what variation feels the best to you. I'm making this a passive forward fold, so turning my palms face up and just letting myself naturally round into this shape. So I'm not pushing, I'm not pulling. I'm just letting gravity do the work for me here. Dropping my head completely so that we're getting a nice stretch along the spine as well as through our hips. These morning classes are an invitation to focus on ourselves first before we have to go through our day. It's an opportunity to center ourselves and to set an intention for how we'd like our day to go. Stay in your forward fold, but just walk your hands out so you can come up onto your fingertips and lift your chest up a little bit slightly. Walk your hands as far over towards the right as you can. Crawl the left fingertips out as you fold, so you'll feel this a lot more through the left side of your lower back and along the back left side of your body. And you can crawl your hands over to the other side. Move slowly here, take your time. So still in that forward fold. This time my right hand is reaching out. I'm still pushing my right sit bone down. And coming back through to center. Walk your hands in so you can lift yourself up. You can use your hands to bring your knees back in and just feet flat on the floor. We'll do a seated pigeon pose variation. So with your hands back behind you, it might be easier to start with straighter legs, just so you can bring your right ankle over the top of your left knee and then bend your left knee as much as is appropriate to you. Try not to round and slouch. Instead, use your hands to actively push into the floor to grow a little bit taller through this pose. And I like to just kind of move and sway a little bit side to side. Waking up that right hip. One more big breath here. And then just slide your left leg until it's straight on the mat and bring your right foot to the inside of that right thigh, or of that left thigh, sorry. We're going to inhale, stretch and lengthen up, really lift up tall, and start with a flat back first. So you might just be going a couple inches. Like for me, this is enough. This is my first practice of the day. Muscles are really tight. There's not a huge range of motion, which is totally fine. Our bodies warm up as we go through our day. But really actively push the back of your leg into the mat. And then you can fold in a more passive way, just like we did in our butterfly pose, letting your spine naturally round. And I'm kind of tucking my chin to my chest a little bit because this does help to stretch through the upper back. Use your hands pushing into the floor to slowly walk them back and lift yourself back up. And from here, you're just going to widen your legs. So I'm going to try to bring my right knee and open it up slightly. And bringing my right hand behind me, planted on the mat, I'm going to reach my left arm up and over and lift my hips up as far as they can go. So really pushing and stretching out from your left hand all the way down to your left hip, from your left hip to your left foot. Big belly breath in. And exhale, release, come back through to center and go ahead and extend your right leg out in front of you. We'll find reclined or seated pigeon on the second side. So this time you're crossing your left ankle over your right knee and bringing that right foot in. Push your hands into the mat to lift up through your chest. And I'm just rocking a little side to side. Totally normal if one side feels stiffer than the other. And you can slide your right foot out in front of you so your right leg is straight, and we'll bring our left foot to the inside of the right thigh. So this time everything is facing to the top of your mat. You're going to inhale, lift and lengthen, and maintain a flat back. I'm just hinging a tiny little bit. Emphasize pushing and activating the back of your right leg. So I'm really digging my heel into the floor here. Trying to pull your heart forward, and then make this a passive forward fold, softening down, rounding in, lightly tucking your chin to your chest. One more big breath in this forward fold. Use your hands and your arm strength to lift out. Keep your breath going here, even as you transition in and out of poses. And we're going to widen your left knee, just so you're widening your legs away from one another. Left hand goes kind of behind you, beside your left hip. Reach your right arm up and over, push your hips up. Big counter stretch here, one of my favorite poses to do in the morning. And we'll release, setting back down. Cross out your ankles. And we're just going to lower onto our bellies, coming into sphinx pose. So just trying to broaden through our chest a little bit. Roll your shoulders back, push into the tops of your feet. Find your back bend here. And you really get to control how deep you want this back bend to be. Try to push your pubic bone into the floor so you're not pinching through your lower back. Big breath in here. And let's find downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So your hands stay shoulder width distance apart. Push yourself back, tuck your toes under, and lift your hips up and back. Try to relax your neck, and I'm just bending one knee, straightening the other leg, trying to get that motion and that big stretch through my calves, my ankles, my hamstrings, and at the same time broadening, opening through the upper body as I reach my chest towards my thighs. And you can walk your feet about to the center of the mat. We're just going to take a ragdoll fold, widen your feet so they're a little bit wider than your hips here, and just let yourself dangle. I'm holding on to my elbows, just swaying a little side to side. Release your fingertips down to the floor. Turn your heels in and toes out, Malasana, your yogi squat. You're bending into your knees as low as you can go here. Use your elbows to push your knees open. Hands at your heart. Lift the crown of your head up. We're not here forever. Just take one more breath here in this pose. And we're just going to take one last pose before we close our practice, coming into reverse table. Another pose I've really been enjoying doing in the morning lately to open up and stretch through my shoulders. So feet flat on the mat, palms behind you with your fingertips pointing towards your heels. You're just going to push and lift, squeeze your seat. And I have a lot of tightness through my shoulders, so for me this is super intense. For you, it might not feel like much. If so, you're very blessed. Squeeze and lift up a little bit more. And exhale to release, letting it go. Go ahead and take a seat here in any way that is comfortable to you. Closing your eyes. Let's bring our hands together at the front of the heart. Maybe choosing a one-word intention for your day. And once you have that, let's close by chanting Om. Inhale to chant, breathe in. Om. Thank you so very much, everyone, for doing this short morning yoga practice with me. I hope that you feel ready for the day ahead and that this made you feel really good in your body overall. Leave me a comment, please subscribe, and hopefully I'll practice again with you very soon.